Hey y'all, well I am getting ready to do something interesting. I have an attachment on here and it's a vintage attachment that actually fits a vintage sewing machine, a Kenmore. And it was created to be able to sew perfect circles, and it actually fits the Sashiko. So if you can see under there what that looks like, and there's actually a pin with a cap that goes on it, and it will spin my fabric. So I am getting ready to use it. I tested it a while ago on a piece of sandwiched, quilt sandwich, just a little mini quilt sandwich, to see if it would work. And it does. So I'm actually going to do a circle, like a circle that just kind of keeps getting bigger. And what happens is you adjust this lever here, and you can lock it in place with these two little hooks on the side. And then when you move it back, you can adjust this lever here. So I've got it locked in place right here for now. And then as I want to get bigger, I'll adjust this as I make the circle go out. So here we go, the Baby Lock Sashiko. And it just spins my fabric. And I'm still using the variegated thread, Coats & Clark. So I'm just gonna kind of move this around. So it just kind of twists your fabric around to help you have a perfect circle. This is fascinating. So I learned about this in a Facebook group that I'm in. Okay, so actually, I don't know if I'm gonna have to adjust this or not. So let me move that out and adjust it a little bit. I'm gonna pull it out a little bit and then lock it. I learned about this in a Facebook group, a Sashiko Facebook group that I'm in. I think someone else was experimenting, and they tried, because they wanted to be able to sew circles, because it is very difficult to sew other things, other than straight lines. And so she used this attachment and didn't post really a lot about it. I did a little stealthing, and she didn't post a picture of what it looked like, but I was able to see this cap, and messaged her about it, and she mentioned it was a Kenmore vintage attachment. So I found it on eBay. You can search Kenmore attachment, even Sashiko Kenmore attachment might be in the description, if you have this machine and you want to try this. But it is sewing circles. That's fascinating. So I'm going to unlock it here and move it out just a little bit to make my circle kind of come out a little more as I spiral out. And it just spins it like this. See? I mean, no hands. It just spins it for me, so I don't have to worry about getting off. Fascinating. Look at that. Now I'll say that the stitch length is staying pretty, I still have it on the 5 and the 5, and it's pretty much staying on that stitch length there. Kind of have to maybe readjust the fabric just slightly. But yeah, here's to trying something new. I've been so thrilled with this machine the whole time I've had it. And if you have one of these, it's called Baby Lock Sashiko Owners is the group on Facebook, and sometimes we share. So I'm gonna extend this out a little bit so my circle will keep getting bigger, and then lock it in place. But in that group, we share some of our projects, and again, this was where I learned about this attachment, sort of. she didn't post a picture of exactly what it looked like. All I could see was the head of this, but I was able to kind of find it. So anyway, if you have this machine and you want to try to find this attachment, eBay, because they're vintage, so it's not like you can go to the store and buy it. Kenmore vintage circular attachment. Let me show you a picture. It sometimes comes in this box. It was also in one that was clear. A clear where you could actually see this attachment here over like plastic, but it's called a circular decorator, and got it there. There's not a whole lot of them, but just search for Kenmore circular decorator, and you even could type in Kenmore Sashiko, because I think some people are starting to find these and use them on their Sashiko, but it just clamps down. There, there's two little screws here, if you can see those, that you normally would put any attachment on there. And I did have to use my screws that came with the Baby Lock. The screws that came with the attachment were a little loose, so you would want to use your screws that came with the Sashiko, but it just spins it. I mean, you can see, let me see if I can zoom in there. You can see the circle there, and it just spins it in a circle. And then as you want it to get, you know, larger, you just slowly adjust this lever and the circle will keep getting larger. So I'm pretty excited about this because I plan on at some point making a quilt using circles. That's actually a logo. I just recently finished working on a logo for my training and consulting business. It's not quilt related, but it's something that I'll be doing part-time the beginning of next year, and I'm starting to get it all together, and I'm going to make a quilt with my logo on it. And I want to be able to quilt circles, possibly using the Sashiko, and this will make sure that they're really good circles. So anyway, you can adjust the width of how far the lines are on your circle if you want, but I mean, this is just spinning. I mean, I don't even have my hands on right now. It's just spinning it around. Fascinating. So I'm glad someone tried this out, and thought I would show you guys. I've had this attachment probably for over a month. Sometimes I'm just slow with trying things, and it also depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, it just snaps right on, and look at these circles. This is going to be my journal book cover, and I wanted to kind of do something unique for the, I'm going to move it out again, for the middle, this middle block here, this diamond. These were leftover orphan half square triangles from a quilt I had made, and when I twisted them around and put them together like this, it actually made this really pretty diamond. And I didn't want to do straight lines in there. I was like, hey, I'll do a circle. So yeah, I think this is going to be my last pass here. Yeah, it looks like this will be my last pass to be able to stay on the diamond. And then I'll take it off here and show you what it looks like. Now, of course, I'm going to have to find a place to stop because the circle has to have an end point. So let's see, we can go one more time here. So I don't want it to go off the edge. I don't want it to get on to the other part of the block. So I'll have to stop when it looks like it's gonna hit the edge of the block. I'll just kind of make it fade actually into the original circles, what I'm gonna do. There. Okay. So what you do is you just pop this, let me zoom back out so you can see. Pop this off, this little cap here. Lift up the presser foot. There's a needle. If you can see that needle there, it's pretty sharp. Just lift it off. My string was kind of wrapped around there. And pull my thread back here. And look at that. There's a circle. So I'll keep practicing with it. It's pretty amazing that it can do that. There we go from a distance. To add some circles and you just kind of let it go. So it's been a little bit of an adventure today. I did some pretty neat Sashiko stitches. So I'm gonna actually turn this into my journal cover. You can see the back here. It's all the strings. So what I usually do is I'll tie, these are my 2 loose end strings here, and I just tie them together on the back. This is gonna have a lining, so this won't be seen at all in the inside of the journal cover because I'll be putting a lining on it. I haven't picked out the color yet, but I'll just tie those off and snip them. And that way, the Baby Lock Sashiko locks your threads, but I have found it's good to either bury them or tie them at the end. This is not going to be washed because it's going to be a journal cover, but that way they don't come out. But there you go.